Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Rebecca Adehill show. I am so excited to be back here recording another episode for you. And today I want to dive into a question I get asked over and over and over again. And I really think that you can benefit from this as well. So today I'm going to share with you exactly how I set my own goals, and I want to make sure that I give you all of the knowledge that you need so you can not just hit your goals, but exceed all of your goals as well. But before we dive in, I want to do a little recap of what has been happening in my world. And I always feel when I have a lot of momentum and a lot of magic happening, I feel like I want to share some of that activation and I want to share some of that magic with you as well, because I'm such a big believer that it translates and energy flows. And if I experience a lot of growth and getting a lot of opportunities, I want to share that magic with you as well. If you have not listened to my previous episode that I did with Keegan Hipgrave, which is my new season of the show called Voices of Impact, I am going to be hosting this as a hybrid season. So I'm going to split solo episodes with interviews as well. Starting Voices of Impact has been a goal of mine for many months. And it was so beautiful to finally sit down with someone and have this conversation that I had envisioned in my mind for a long time in this studio space, sitting down with a beautiful coffee, with great company, having a great conversation. And it was so cool that finally happened. And as we pressed live on that episode, oh my goodness, we have received some incredible feedback and so many shares, so many listens and downloads, so many people subscribing. So many of you have reached out to say how much you love the episode. And I just want to say thank you for sharing that magic with me as well, because that means a lot, hearing that the conversations that we share and, the things that I share on my show really resonates and land with you. And that is my overall intention with this show as well. So that was really exciting. And another announcement that I just made only a couple of days ago is that I have landed an incredible opportunity to host a Women in Business event with a clothing brand called Silk Laundry. Now, they reached out to me a few weeks ago, and this is so on brand for me. I don't even think they knew that I have worn Silk Laundry for all of my retreats. Whenever I want to feel like I want to show up with like a statement piece, but I want it to be sophisticated, elegant, but I kind of want to make a statement, something luxe, something beautiful, I always go Silk Laundry. So the fact that they reached out to me, I still pinch myself over that. And it's just an incredible opportunity for me. And within one day, we sold out the entire event. And in July, I will be hosting my first ever Women in Business event. I have attended many, I've spoken at events, but I haven't actually hosted my own. So this is a new milestone for me and also a goal that I've had for a long time. And it was so beautiful how that opportunity came to me and landed in my lap. That is the direction that I actually want to take first. So I shared this with a couple of clients on some group calls that I had earlier this week. And whenever I go through a transformation or whenever I experience great growth inside of my life and my business, I anchor into the emotions of that and I share that with my clients. And I think this is why proximity is so cool, that I get to really pave the way for my clients and share the magic and the realizations and the lessons that I have along the way. What I described to them was I have completely detached from the timeline of when something needs to happen, but I will carry myself with the knowing that it absolutely will. That mindset shift has changed my whole energetic state on how I'm showing up with the world. And I'm just going to repeat that for a moment. I have completely detached from the timeline of when I need something to happen, but I will carry myself with the absolute knowing that it will. Because in my mind, when I see the vision in my mind, it is already done. As soon as the vision drops in for me, I anchor into what I see, how I feel, where I am at, what else is happening. I anchor into all of that. I journal in every specific detail that drops into my mind, and then I let it go. I let it go and I surrender to the fact that I know it's going to happen without the need of having to know when it's going to happen. But something really profound happens when you start to carry yourself with a knowing that it's already done and it's on its way to me. It's currently on its way to me. And I want you to really understand what I'm saying here. I don't want you to picture me running towards my goal. It's actually the opposite. I want you to picture yourself anchor deeper than ever, both feet on the ground. You are solid in the what you are wanting to achieve, but completely detached from the when. But you will carry yourself so solidly with the knowing that it's on its way to you. And the more momentum and energy you create, the quicker that energy, as in that opportunity, will flow to you. So that is some of the magic. Along with my clients are celebrating wins. They are executing on, the funnels that I teach inside of my Scale with Ease program. Literally just before I sat down to press record on this podcast, I had a client reach out to me to go, "Oh my goodness, Rebecca, I can't believe it. I've just had someone go through my entire funnel completely hands off and they've paid. I woke up to money in the bank and this is, I get full body goosebumps right now because nothing actually beats this feeling. This is what I teach. This is how I've grown my own 7-figure coaching business with this exact strategy, and having my clients drop into my DMs, celebrate. Oh my goodness, it worked. I woke up to money in the bank and whilst I was doing something else completely hands off. And I just think it's such a significant moment to celebrate for myself and also for my clients, that I'm just extremely proud of my clients for, number one, allowing me to guide them with the knowledge that I have. But number two, witnessing them in their own leadership and the way they are trusting their own ability to move. And they also detach from the timeline of when it needs to happen, but they will start to carry themselves with the knowing that it's already done. So now I want to dive in and share how I personally set my goals with you. Step number one, I sit down and I write down all of my goals. Anything that drops in of like, oh, I would love to do that one day. I would love to do that one day. And I would love to do that. I just have a session where I allow myself to dream. I allow myself to dream and I don't even worry about the how. All I am worried about in this moment is the what and the why. What I want to do and why I want to do it. The two most important parts. In this session, I just want to highlight, do not go into the how. Just allow yourself to be in the energy of like, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to do in this one life I know that I have? And why is that important to me? Why do I want to do that? And you will have no doubt a big list. I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do that. And I really want you to have fun with this and just take yourself to a place where you can just allow yourself to dream. Just allow yourself to dream and write down all of those things that maybe you actually haven't shared with a lot of people. That is step number one. The second step to this is that I reverse engineer all of my goals. So focus on the next 12 months. And we're going to start with the 12-month goal. And I want you to write down everything that you are hoping to accomplish within 12 months. I want to land my first speaking opportunity. I want to host events. I want to launch a podcast, and I want to reach 100K months in my coaching business. I want to buy my first investment property. I want to have more team members. I want to have a funnel. Whatever goals you have inside of your business, I want you to write them all down and go, this is what is going to happen in 12 months' time. We still don't worry about the how yet, just the what and the why. 12 months. Get as specific as possible. And if you want to set some revenue goals there as well, I really encourage you to do that. Then we are going to half that goal because now we are going back to 6 months' time. So now we've gone from 12 months down to 6 months. In the 6-month bracket, you are simply going to half everything that you have written in your 12-month goal. So maybe you want to reach 100K months in 12 months' time. So in 6 months, you're going to write $50,000 months. And instead of 2 staff members, maybe you have 1. And maybe you have not bought your first investment property yet, but you can got your pre-approval from the bank. Maybe you've started to research areas where you want to buy your investment. Maybe you have registered your company for GST so you can buy a property through your company, like whatever that is, just half the goal and get as clear as possible. Then we are going to repeat the process again. We're going to bring that down to 3 months. So if that was 50,000, now we're down to 25,000. And then you're going to half that again and again and again. So now you have a really specific 3-month goal. But we are going to break that in half again. Because what I do, I work in 6-week blocks. 6-week blocks. So now take the 3 months and we are going to half that. And what you'll see that this 6-week plan or the 6-week goals, you're going to be like, I can do that. That's easy. I have 6 weeks to map out a funnel, write 30 emails, to grow my Instagram to this, to launch a podcast, to do this research. All of a sudden, you have completely detached from the 12-month goal, even from the 6 months and 3 months. And we are only going to strip it back and focus on a 6-week plan. So now when you have your overall goals for the 6-week plan, we then are going to ask ourselves, what do I need to do? What needs to happen? So now we are getting in to the how. What needs to happen in order for me to hit all of these goals? And not only the how, who is going to be responsible to execute on all of those things? So if you already have a team, you are going to get super clear on who you are delegating what to. So there are no kind of like blurred lines. You own that part, you own that part, you are going to execute on that part, just so it's super clear. And if that is only you right now, that is cool as well. So within each goal, I want you to break it down into different projects. So if you have 4 goals that you want to achieve within 6 weeks, under each one of those goals, you are going to have certain projects that needs to be completed in order for you to reach that goal. So I want to give you an example. If you want to have a business that is a money-making machine and you want to wake up to sales inside of your business, which I teach inside of my program, Scale With Ease. Send me a DM, Scale With Ease, and I'll share all the details with you. Say that is a goal of yours, right? You want to make sure that you can have a business that is set up so your business is holding you, so your business is supporting you, but you're like, I don't have a funnel, I don't have an email list, I don't have a conversion event, I don't even have a scalable offer, right? So under those goals, you're going to have certain projects. Maybe you need to create a conversion event. Maybe you need to sign up to a platform where you can build out your funnel, which could be, Kajabi, for instance. Maybe you need to research what automations you need to use. I personally use ManyChat. What else needs to happen? How do you need to tweak your current offering so that you can scale it? So you're going to have certain projects. Say you have 4 to 5 projects within those 6 weeks. Under each project, you are going to have specific tasks that are required from you. Get super clear on what those tasks are, super specific. Because often, if you procrastinate, if you avoid, if you are feeling overwhelmed, that is often a sign of lack of clarity. And the reason why I leave no room for procrastination inside of my business is simply because I lead myself with absolute clarity in terms of what needs to be done and when inside of my business. and I can hold myself accountable to that plan. So I'm never going to work thinking, I have no idea what I'm going to focus on today. Maybe I'll sit down and create some content. That never happens because I know exactly what is required from me within my 6-week plan, because I know what my overall goal is, but I have detached from that and I simply focus on what I need to do to hit that 6-week plan. So now you're going to have certain tasks. Now when you are clear on the what and the why, the projects and the tasks, what we are going to do next, we are going to do an energy audit. Depending on how much time you spend inside of your business, say for instance, you work 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, within each day, I want you to ask yourself, when do I have the most energy? And for me personally, it's anywhere between like 9:30 up until about lunchtime. Like now recording this, we've just hit about 12 o'clock. Now I'm solid. You get me good now. And this is why I sit down and record this podcast right now, because I want you to experience my activation when I'm at my best. You won't see me sit down and record a podcast 5 o'clock in the afternoon because I know that I won't bring my A game. So it's really important for me that the tasks that are important for me to feel activated, I decide to do those things when I feel my best. And when I need to create content, when I need to be creative, I do that when I energetically feel my best. Same goes for coaching. I select my coaching times, like if I ever run a group program, when I feel my best, because I want my clients to experience my leadership when I'm at my sharpest. That is very important to go, when do I feel my best? When do I feel low on energy? When do I feel high on energy? So when you feel high on energy, that is really where we want to maximize those tasks that are really important, that really drives the needle inside of your business. So if that is creating content, if that is like strategic work, if that is any creative work inside of your business, if that is coaching, whatever that is for you, you want to make sure that you really prioritize those tasks when you are feeling your best. Things like checking emails, which is just a boring task that requires no real energy from you, right? So I want you to go, actually, maybe in the afternoon when I'm feeling a bit low on energy, maybe after lunch, you're feeling a bit tired. That is when I will do those tasks, because I don't need to be on, right? It's a very different energy when I need to be on versus like when I can just complete something that I know needs to be executed. Very, very different. Now, when you have a schedule where you sit down every single day and you know exactly what is required from you in that 6-week plan, I want you to have this plan saved as the wallpaper on your phone. I want you to have it on your laptop, like on your desk. I want you to stick it on the fridge. I want you to have it on the mirror, because often what I see happens with goal setting, they set the goals and they're like, actually, I forgot what my goals were. I just need to double check. You should never need to double check what your goals are. That to me tells me that you are not clear on your goals. I want you to be able to go, if I ask you today, tell me your 6-week plan. I want you to go, boom, 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 boom. Here they are. And if you can't say that, it tells me that it's not front of mind. You want to make it front of mind. And what I mean by that, I want you to give it your attention. So when you give something your attention, that tells me that you are going to execute and move on those things, which then leads me to my next point. If you are doing things inside of your business right now, the number one is not generating revenue, or number two is actually not supporting your goals, don't do them. Or before I say don't do them, ask yourself, why am I doing these things? What is the overall intention? With every task, everything that I do inside of my business, I ask myself, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? What is the overall intention why you are doing this? So for instance, I never sit down and just post on Instagram. Maybe I should create some content today. That is not the vibe. I reverse engineer every single post. I reverse engineer every single task. And the more you do it, now this is your second nature to me. I don't sit down and go, why do you do this, Rebecca? It just drops in for me, and that is just how I show up now, because I've trained myself to always lead with the intention first. and then I reverse engineer that, and then I'm clear on the tasks that are required from me. And the last thing I just want to touch on as well, if you are a person that sometimes struggle to be consistent, or if the procrastinator in you is loud sometimes, or even the perfectionist is loud, or maybe you are overthinking certain things and you kind of really need that push now and again, I invite you to two things. Number one, the most important part when you are trying to overcome something that you are fearful of. If you are fearful of rejection, for instance, I invite you to getting used to getting rejected. And the reason for that is because I want you to normalize the feeling of being rejected and shifting your understanding that you are actually not personally being rejected. The services that you provide are simply not a priority for your potential clients right in that moment. And when you can shift your perception of that, you won't get as scared of getting rejected. But there are a lot of people that fear actually getting a no. I get no's all day, every day, but I also get so many yeses because I don't fear getting a no. Because in my mind, I lead myself with the assumption that all of my clients want to buy from me, but maybe not today, and that is okay. So in my mind, I go, okay, that's cool. The time is not right for you, maybe later, maybe not yet. And that is okay because I've detached from the timeline of when I need something to happen. And I simply get to focus on the things that I can control. So when I'm leading you to getting used to getting rejected, it's all about getting the reps in. So often what I say to my clients is that I'm going to set you a goal right now, and I want you to go out and get 50 no's. I want you to connect with people. If that's you getting on someone's podcast and you asking for speaking opportunities, or you reach out to existing clients, if you can upsell, I want you to get 50 no's. And every single person that says no to you, I want you to screenshot that, and I want you to add that to a folder on your phone called rejections. I used to do that before I got used to getting rejected. Now it doesn't affect me one bit whether people want to work with me or not, because I have an abundance of people that are ready today. So the people that aren't ready, I can't control that. So I'm not entertaining that. I let them have their own journey, and they come into my world when they're ready. But I remember when I used to charge a 1/10 of what I'm charging today for my private mentoring. And now, gosh, I wish I had saved the screenshot from when I was charging like spare money for private mentoring when I first started out, because I had people that would have said no back then. And I would have loved to be able to look at that and go, oh my goodness, remember when I used to charge this much for private mentoring? If they only knew what they missed out on. And I think it's beautiful because two things will happen. Number one, you will start to really neutralize the feeling, and you know that you are completely safe and it's nothing to do with you. And number two, you will also be able to witness your own evolution. People that I used to work with 2-3 years ago, some people that have come back into my world now, and some people that said no 2 years ago, they're inside of my world now. And that also really allows for you to step into that long-term thinking. So that is really important. So like whatever you are avoiding right now, making sure that you are really getting the reps in so you can neutralize that feeling. And the last thing I want to share with you as well, I wake up every single day and I ask myself these two questions. How can I be of service to my clients today and to my potential clients, the people that I'm here to serve? How can I be of service today? And how can I make money today? Just sit with that for a moment. And how can I move the needle closer to my 6-week goal today? When you are so clear on the what and the why and the how, you will leave no room for procrastination. You know exactly where your attention needs to go, and you follow through and you follow through and you show up and you follow through and you execute that plan no matter what. When we don't have clarity in our plans, that is when we procrastinate. That is when we have doubt. That is when we don't know who we are speaking to or what we do today. This is why clarity on your goals are absolutely essential, so that you can execute and also exceed those goals. What I want to wrap up this episode with, and I think this is probably the most important question, and here is where I like to call myself out. What could possibly stop me or get in my way in order for me to execute this plan? I ask all of my clients this one question, because I know that we all have patterns that shows up in our lives, whether we like it or not. And, that's the constant evolution of, bettering ourselves. But we're all going to have those things. And by me sharing this with you now, no doubt that you have a couple of things that already pop up in your mind. Oh, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and sometimes I become a bit complacent, or I have this fear, or when other areas of my life are a bit rocky, I tend to lack showing up online. You're going to know what those things are for you. And I want you to voice them. I want you to call them out, not because you are blaming yourself for it, but simply because we can then support you as you voice those things and when it shows up. Because what we need to do in that moment, when that internal dialogue gets really loud, and when you're about to play out that same loop of procrastinating or not showing up or whatever that is for you, we need to replace it with instant action. Because what we are doing in that moment is that we are training your brain how we show up in moments where the old version of us would have been, we just avoid, we don't execute, we get overwhelmed, we procrastinate. But you're like, that is not how we show up anymore. So we are creating a new loop and a new way of showing up. So that is so important that you have the clarity with the exact action you replace that with. So I want to give an example. I go to a PT. I have a PT 3 days a week. And on Monday, as I was going to my PT session, my head noise was loud. I had great flow, and I train at 3:15 in the afternoon. And sometimes that is a challenging time to get to the gym, because it's like almost like the end of day. I've been at work all day and I kind of just want to go home and have a cup of tea and kind of curl up on the couch and go and have a sauna. And sometimes it's really hard, especially on the colder kind of months where, I got to get changed, going to get into the gym, and my head noise was really loud. And it sounded a bit like this. Oh, Rebecca, you're in great flow. Maybe just stay and finish off that presentation. It's a little bit cold today. Or you're still a bit sore from training last week. You miss the kids a lot. Maybe just have an early night. It's a bit rainy. Why don't you just go and have a sauna so you don't push yourself too much? The chat was loud, so loud. And what I did in that moment, thankfully my brother is working in this office as well. And I voiced it and I said, I just need to voice this, because the head noise on me is really freaking loud at the moment. This is what my brain is telling me at the moment. So I just want to voice it, and I'm going to go and get changed now. And I'm going to teach my brain on how we show up when my internal dialogue sounds like this. I got changed and I went to the gym, and every part of me is like, fuck, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for following through and showing yourself how we show up when the head noise gets loud. I know that we can't control the thoughts and emotions that come in, but we can control how we respond to them. I hope today's episode really landed for you, that it activated you, and I really invite you to take some time to sit with your goals so you have the clarity, because you will move the needle so freaking fast that you won't just hit your goals, you will absolutely exceed all of your goals. Thank you for bringing your incredible energy to my show, for tuning in every single week. Your support means the absolute world to me, and I cannot wait to be back here next week for another show.